My wife has been cheating on me and it turns out I'm not the father of our two kids. My wife, 34/female, of 9 years, has wanted a divorce from me, 35/male, a little more than a month after we married. To be quite honest, I wasn't shocked. She'd been avoiding me for a long time before I finally approached her. Neither of us had been affected or connected to each other for a long time. That had changed recently. In the event that I questioned her about it, she would either provide an explanation or claim that her melancholy was having a significant negative effect on her. She was also harsh to me and made me feel like I was unimportant. During one of our conversations, she made a very harsh comment regarding my physical appearance. In addition, when my family came to visit, he was often rude to them. Concerning the divorce, she expressed her dissatisfaction and expressed her desire that we not wind up in the same situation as her parents in their marriage. We were also told that we would no longer be required to see a therapist, as we had done in the years before we began having children. We have two girls, the eldest of whom is 3 years old and the youngest of whom is 1 year old. After she informed me of the situation, I went to my brother's house. He lives in the neighborhood, and she informed me that she wanted to spend a few days with me away from our house. The next several days were spent trying to convince me that she wanted to speak to me about her divorce and the reasons behind it. She admits to up with someone else later that night. She had been seeing him for quite some time before she began seeing me. He was an old flame from before she started seeing me. It will take around 4-5 years. He is now going through the process of divorcing his wife of many years. Since he is getting divorced, she has essentially deserted me in order to be with him. If this former boyfriend hadn't announced his intention to divorce her, she would most likely have kept me tied to the bed. Afterwards, there came the biggest surprise of them all. She told me that she had resumed seeing him before to the birth of her children. I was pleased to hear this. In 2017, the couple had their first child. She had the children's DNA tested since she had been seeing him around the same time, and it turns out that I'm not the father of the two children I've been parenting all of these years. This clearly annoyed me, and I demanded that she leave the premises as soon as possible. When I realized I needed a lawyer, I was very cautious about what I said before she left because I honestly wanted to say much worse things to her. Needless to say, I immediately engaged an attorney and started counseling as soon as possible. The DNA test seems to be authentic, according to the attorney. We've just begun the process of divorcing each other. Everything taken into consideration, I'm doing rather well. My actions against her were neither immoral nor horrible in nature, so I can take solace in the fact that I gave all I had to this marriage. Even though it may sound unusual to admit, I was really unsatisfied with my wife at the time. Being away from her on a regular basis has allowed me to reclaim my self-confidence. I'm beginning to feel more and more like myself. To be quite honest, I have no emotions for my soon-to-be ex-wife at this time. No matter how hard I tried, there had been no love in our relationship for a long time no matter how hard I tried to reconnect. The reason she intentionally pushed me away has finally become clear to me. The fact that he is not the biological father of his two children is the most painful for him. I admire them and take pleasure in being their mother. My friends and family are my life, and I know saying goodbye to them is the most painful thing I've ever had to do. I'm ready to put an end to these chapters of my life and go on with my life. I'm certain that I will be able to find happiness once again because I deserve it. I know how much I'm worth, and I'm certain that I'll find happiness again. Story 2. Cheating while we're engaged. I'll exploit your phobias. For a long time, I was engaged to a man who looked to be a reasonable decision. She was attractive and smart, worked in a respectable job, and had a house. But I soon discovered that he had a flaw. He was a who cheated on me. This was not simply a one-night stand after too much drinking, which I would have been sorry about but could have probably gotten over, but a series of encounters with many women. There were certain indicators that I picked up on along the way, but things were finally proven beyond a reasonable question. I was complaining to my brother about it at the time, and I informed him of my plans to relocate when I was away on a business trip for a week. He offered to assist me before I ever asked, and then he gave me this gorgeous wicked smile when I asked him to. We may be able to leave him something as a keepsake, he speculated. When I inquired as to what he was referring about, he said, Pennywise and his cronies. As it turned out, I was terrified of clowns. They make me feel not just a bit uneasy, but downright terrified. Even as an adult, a clown on a television program, an online comic, or a book would surprise him and cause him to change the channel or click away from the screen. My brother has a printing business and is especially protective of his younger sister, who is his pride and joy. He used this opportunity to print hundreds of clown images in various sizes in the weeks leading up to trip. Copies are available in a variety of sizes, ranging from very tiny wallet-sized pictures to large poster-sized reproductions. We framed the majority of the items in low-cost plastic frames to save money. The remainder was laminated. The fact that we were able to move all of my belongings out in a short period of time gave us plenty of time to prepare for my ex-arrival. Husbands, all of the framed pictures were removed, and they were all replaced with framed clown images. The clowns range from ordinary to nightmare-inducing hellspawn in their appearance and behavior. A variety of images adorn the walls, including art prints on the walls and photographs in frames on tables. Whatever it was removed and replaced with an image of a clown. Using the laminated ones, we were able to hide them in a variety of places, such as the silverware drawer, the underside of the toilet lid, so that when he went to pee, he'd be met with this when he lifted the seat, the fridge and freezer, the backs of cleaning bottles, his underwear drawer, and a variety of other places. It was also strategically placed in areas where he wouldn't often frequent, so that months later he'd be caught off guard. He had one of those attic access points where you pull a lever and a ladder drops into the attic for you. In order for him to see himself in the mirror as he climbed the ladder, we attached a huge laminated clown face to the ladder. While we were putting everything together, I went one step further and changed the background on his desktop computer to a clown. I also took roughly 10 of his favorite DVD movies and replaced them with some DVD that had been burned with video from clown shows. Our labels were designed to match the original DVD artwork, and they were auto-playing. Everything, including his original artwork and DVD, was stored in the basement, where they would be safe from harm. However, it is surrounded by enormous clown posters of Pennywise and other characters. In addition, a motion sensor was added, which, when activated, created a terrifying clown laugh that was rather frightening. It was written on the kitchen table by me, and it said, "I am aware of the existence of insert names here. You've been dealt a bad hand. I'm going to leave right now." My brother and his wife joined me for a BBQ to celebrate a few days of hard work in moving me out and a few clown cars worth of fear in by grilling some steaks and having a few beers to commemorate a few days of hard work in moving me out and a few clown cars worth of dread in. These were paid for using the proceeds from the sale of my engagement ring, which was given to me as a gift by my parents. The idiot texted me many times when he returned, one of which was, "You." He must have spent a significant amount of time alone caring for the photographs that were visible to the public. It was clear that there would be no more legal action or consequences for what we'd done as a result of our conduct. What mature person would want to accuse his ex-fiancé of terrorizing him with clown images in the end, you could wonder.